Welcome, everyone, to the NBA on 2K Sports. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, joined by my partners, Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg.
Ready, gentlemen? Ready?
Today's game continues this Brooklyn Nets homestand. And, guys, this is the first they're seeing of the 76ers this year. In a season ago, Clark, they won the matchup, winning 3 and losing just 1.
Yeah, and they took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
Yeah, Greg, you're right. They're the better team. I mean, they expect to win this matchup. We'll see if they can take care of business tonight.
Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. Nowitzki is out there with Wallace. Then there's Marion. Then there's Carter. And it's Thomas in the point guard position. Now here's Wall, following the miss by Sean Marion. Wall attacking from 12 feet out. Carter pulls it in. Brooklyn on defense.
Pau Gasol was the number 3 pick back in 2001. He managed to average 18 and 9 his first season, was Rookie of the Year, became a perennial All-Star. There's no way his younger brother Mark, who was a second-round pick, could ever match up to that, right? Not so fast, people. Mark's pretty good, too.
Gasol is screen on Marion. And it's Durant missing. And here is Thomas. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Marion, right side. Beasley with the steal. A finish. And it's blocked. Now the 76ers on the break. Thomas kicks to Marion. Nowitzki dishes to Wallace. Back to Nowitzki. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Nowitzki's got his second basket of the night. Talking about Pau and brother Mark, both of them were excellent last season. Difference is that Pau has always been considered a great prospect, so detractors are much harder on him when they see cracks, I think, Greg, in his game.
Yeah, you know, for Marc Gasol, it can only exceed expectations because they started out so low. I'd simply say that if I had to pick between one or the other for best career, I'd do everything I could to pick both.
Good way to get out of it. Good answer. Wallace's shot is good.
If you battle for the offensive rebound and come up with it, you're guaranteed a high-quality shot on a follow just like he got there.
Kicks it to Durant. Marion with the steal. And finished off by Carter.
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
I tell you what, I used to love to go up and jam like that.
There's the bucket. Good.
And boy, did they need that one. Their first make in the 5 field goal attempts they've had.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on John Wall. That's his first foul. Here's Thomas. On the wing, Marion. Shot clock at 6. Thomas goes in. The wide open look here for Marion. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Marion's got his first basket of the night.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Mark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
You know, he didn't need to make the layup complicated. I mean, it's not a trick shot contest, but he decided to go for a little extra flavor on that one.
Beasley with the steal. Here's Durant.
Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how, Clark? Brilliant throwdown.
Just exerting his authority on that play.
Monroe's checked in for Brooklyn. Prince comes in for Michael Beasley. It's Vince Carter on the wing. 6 on the shot clock. And there's the 3-second violation.
And guys, the Spurs coaching tree extends pretty far these days. Coach Brett Brown, another former member of the Spurs staff, to be leading an NBA team.
McKee's checked in for Jones. And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Well, Greg, for Brett Brown and the Spurs connection, he was an assistant in San Antonio for 7 years, was really indoctrinated in how the Spurs conducted business, Clark, before coming to the 76ers.
Yeah, he's got an interesting accent, too, a mix of Boston Australian from where he grew up and where he spent a lot of time, but no doubting his passion and his coaching ability. He's good in both.
He was actually a head coach for Australia for a while, an international play. It's Anya. He's checked in for the 76ers. Nets trail by 5. Guys, they've been getting it done.
They sure have been. I mean, really looking good and sharp offensively.
They came out with a mission, and they have been tough to stop.
And again, no good by Brooklyn. For Philadelphia, they've gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%. And the foul on Tayshaun Prince. That is his first foul of the game. Bradley's checked in for Durant. And the 76ers also making a change. Zach LaVine's checked in for Thomas. And Brooklyn called for the foul. LaVine kicks to Nowitzki. Out to the right wing. 5 on the clock. And Marion gets it to go.
Everything going according to the script for them offensively so far.
Clark, shots be falling. That's for sure. They're scoring with a tremendous amount of confidence.
You went straight playground old school there, partner.
And that's some inspiration. Steals, blocks, and a big dunk. Those are ways that you can really change the momentum in a game.
Well, they got to chip away, Clark, at that deficit, and no doubt that'll help.
And that's what he's out there for, guys. I mean, he is an electrifying player, no doubt.
And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that was so tight.
On the wing, Marion. Ball with the steal. The shot, no good.
And you saw how quick the defense was. They were ready for him. They got the hand in the face there and made that much more difficult.
Yeah, and every team needs that kind of rugged interior defense because you want to try to distract your opponents when they get inside, and you also want to make them uncomfortable in their shot attempts.
Fires for 3. Wall missing again.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and Philadelphia decides to take their first timeout right here. I think all three of us agree John Wall, a tremendous all-around player.
Outstanding. Speed was what jumped out at me most when I saw him first at Kentucky. Now he's been able to harness that speed as a pro, and he makes plays that very few can make as a point guard.
He gives you a lot of different looks, doesn't he?
He sure does.
And a new group in for the Nets. Pau Gasol is checked in for Monroe. Beasley comes in for Bradley. Durant's checked in for Tayshaun Prince. And Jones subbed in for John Wall. Here's Levine. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. He lobs it up.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
And you know, guys, right now, they're starting to flatline, just hanging on here for dear life.
Offensive rebound. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two.
That's his first personal foul.
And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the 76ers.
Fellas, they're passing the ball the way you're supposed to here in this first half.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
It's incredible to think that Pau Gasol last year set a career high in points in a game for as long, Clark, as he's played. He had that 46-point game in January.
Yeah, that's 46 points for Pau to go with 18 rebounds. I mean,
right.
You rarely see a player of his age putting up a career high like that.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
And the jam by Dirk Nowitzki.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Oh, and the dunk by Jones.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Here's Levine. Out to the right wing. Here's Azania. No good trying to beat the buzzer. And
Ladies and gentlemen, your Brooklyn Nets.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And guys, what's your take on the 76ers so far?
They seem to be a step slower, and that's one reason why they've been able to own the rebounding edge.
Well, the anticipation's been better. As the ball hits the rim, it's gone right to them. Solid job of them chasing it down and anticipating it.
Looking at the last game for the Brooklyn Nets, it was a loss to Houston. So to begin the second quarter for the Philadelphia 76ers, they've got Carter, Shrimp out there with Wallace. Then there's Marion, and it's Levine in at the point. Nets were the hottest team and story a few years back, certainly, but last season they were put up for sale, surprisingly to some, Clark, midway through the year.
Yeah, that was odd timing given the new arena and rebranding. I mean, you would think after all that effort to rebuild the team, you would see it through.
Here's Gasol. Soft touch off the glass. Gasol's got the opening field goal of the second quarter for the Nets. The 76ers lead. Levine kicks to Marion. Vince Carter on the wing. Feeds to Wallace. 6 to shoot. Out to Marion. Three-pointer. Wallace the pass to Marion. Carter down low. He's guarded by Ross. And Gasol sends it back. Durant kicks to Ross. Back to Durant. A baseline J. Bean with the rebound.
And for the Nets being put up for sale, a big part of it was they were a team that was supposed to compete for titles. And since the move to Brooklyn, they have had trouble going deep in the playoffs.
And McKee gets to Durant. Again, Durant missing.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
That drive by Carter. And it's Sean Marion again missing.
And you know, with Brooklyn, I don't think anybody wants to take over a team in a rebuild mode. I mean, that's what the Nets seem to be looking at for the next few seasons. They had their shot, went all in with some of their decisions. Unfortunately, came up short.
That's good. The Philadelphia lead is cut down now to just 2 points with that basket from Durant.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
And guys, for Zach LaVine, once he finally got comfortable last season, boy, did he heat up. He shot 42% over his rookie year, but 47% over the last month. And I think that gave him a lot of confidence as he's entering into year 2.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Monroe's checked in for Gasol. Prince comes in for Kevin Durant. And it's John Wall in for McKee. You know, as Greg was talking about, LaVine was a lights-out shooter at times in college. He would go on these binges, falling back Clark from 25 feet and draining it. I mean, unreal shots.
Well, it looks good when they're going down, but he also can bend, shoot you out of a game. So you pick your poison.
And Wall kicks to Jones. Monroe's shot is good.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy do. Very, very well done.
Schrempf dishes to LaVine. And you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3.
No clue how he got that one to fall.
And that was not a soft foul he had to get through, Greg. I mean, he had to really power that one up and in. Hey, for Zach LaVine, the dunk contest last season was his coming out party to the world. He put on a show that everybody in the NBA was buzzing about. He presents a defender with a serious challenge, always.
Carter, the pass to LaVine. Carter kicks to Schrempf. Back to Carter. Out to Schrempf. Takes a 3. That one falls, coming off Carter's feed. Schrempf's got 5 points now in the quarter. And for LaVine in his dunking, if you saw him in college or last season, you knew he was a very special player in the air.
Well, LaVine can be one of the great all-time dunkers with his height and ability to lift off. He gets airborne so effortlessly that there are few that can match his power and finesse once he's airborne.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for the 76ers. Rush comes in for Sean Marion. LaVine kicks to Wallace. Wall with the steal. Ross on the wing. Takes a 3. And that is good. Ross has got himself on the board with 3 there.
Shooting lots more threes here in the second.
And given their percentages, I'm not sure that's a good idea. They've struggled to connect from the perimeter.
Here's LaVine. 5 points in the game. Goes up the baseline. And there's a whistle that goes against Greg Monroe. That's his first foul.
I like the recognition of the mismatch there, immediately making the defense pay.
Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Bradley's checked in for Monroe. And it's Beasley in for Ross. Wall dishes to Jones. Passes it to Beasley. And Wall kicks to Jones. Pulls up from the corner. Again, the miss by Jones.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
Rush from outside. Rebound, Brooklyn. All with it, and it's Carter picking him up. Beasley the screen. It's Beasley on the wing. And Wall kicks to Beasley. From downtown, Wall's shot is off. The 76ers struggled last year, but it was mostly due to their offensive issues, Greg. At times, they could be okay on defense.
No doubt, Kevin. They've got a good group of rim protectors, and they also knew how to force turnovers, but they have got to improve offensively.
Oh, and the dunk by Jones.
Well, they won't be down for long if they can get some more early offense just like that.
And Clark, the best way to get that early offense is with steals that allows you to get out in transition.
Here's Levine. He's got 5. Nowitzki right side. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation.
Yeah, you know, Philly would finish right in the middle of the pack in terms of defensive rankings. They knew how to make stops, and they've got some good defenders, too, so not surprised they were fairly solid defensively.
Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Durant comes in for Tayshaun Prince, and it's McKee in for Jones. Isaiah Thomas checked in for Philadelphia.
No question he got bumped on that shot.
Yeah, the officials didn't need to talk that one over. It was obvious.
76ers have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line. And both free throws good for Thomas.
You know, they've changed their game here in the second, getting a little bit more physical, playing with some toughness now.
And I'm looking for them to increase that lead if they can keep getting to the free throw line.
Durant attacking. All with it. Now Thomas defending. Here's Durant. And that one is stuffed right through.
Major league big boy throwdown right there.
And he keeps a tight grip on that rim after the finish.
Yeah, maybe that'll give them a little bit of that swagger that they seem to have lost.
Now here's Nowitzki. 9 points in the game so far. Right wing. 17-foot shot on the way. Thomas, no good.
And the big thing that stuck out for me for the Sixers, their turnovers forced. I mean, second in the league in steals per game, 4th in the league in blocks.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. An easy 2 points on the layup. Thomas got 4 this quarter.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
Out of bounds, Philadelphia takes possession. 8 seconds left in the first half. Carter on the wing. And that concludes the first half. 76ers on top, leading by 7. 2K Sports back in a moment here in Brooklyn.
All right, now, I want everyone here.
All right, the second half beginning in just a moment.
We've seen Nowitzki playing a good game here. 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
And now the third quarter about to get going. It's been quite a game for Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about the truly greats of our game is that sometimes you get spoiled because of how consistent they can be. And so far, another big scoring night for him.
And oftentimes when he puts up that many points in the first half, he follows it up with an even better second half. We'll see if that's the case here.
They've got Beasley all out there with Jones. Then it's Pau Gasol. And it's Durant in at the 3. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn. Now the pass to Carter. From deep. And Thomas, here we go. Here's the lob to the hoop. And Vince Carter with the slam.
Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost out there.
Guys, this one is threatening to get really ugly.
Here's Wall. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup. Give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
And John Wall, guys, is still one of the most explosive players in the league. His speed makes professional athletes look like they are stuck in mud.
Nets trail by 8. And Gasol now top of the key. Can't get it to go.
You know, they've been outstanding on the boards, and it's a big reason why they've got a lead. Doing the dirty work down low.
We call that a collabo because everybody's boxing out and making sure they secure the glass.
You're talking about Wall's burst. He can go end to end in seconds. Clark, you're amazed. You said he's a blur.
Yeah, rack to rack in a nanosecond is what Wall can do. I mean, his speed is something special.
Timeout called the Nets.
And listen, the Nets had an up and down year on offense last season, but the one thing they always did was finish their drives. Very good at getting things to drop off the bounce. That was a strength last season.
McKee's checked in for Brooklyn. The 76ers also with a sub. Wallace is checked in. That is good. Beasley's got his first points of the game.
Looked like he was trying to go for a degree of difficulty points on that shot.
For the Nets, and they're driving. They were fantastic, Clark. Second in the league last year in field goal percentage off those drives.
And a big reason for that is the strength and size of their guards, because they all can finish in traffic, and that's how you get high shooting percentages. You have to make tough shots against contact.
For 3, McKee. And the call will be against Ben Wallace. That's his first foul. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. And the call will be against Ben Wallace. That'll be his second foul of the game. Here's Jones. 8 points for him. It's Durant on the wing.
Tell you what, shooting 20% to start the second half doesn't bode well for how this will play out for this squad.
Wallace with a screen for Thomas. The feed to Carter. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
And a sturdy screen set for him that time. And he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one. That's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
Now, here's Thomas. He's got 6. Wallace goes in. Out to Marion. Carter, the pass to Marion. 4 on the shot clock. Again, the miss by Nowitzki.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
And he gets it to go. Jones has got 10 points in the game.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Jones. Brooklyn making some changes. Greg Monroe, he's checked in for Gasol. Bradley comes in for Michael Beasley. And Tayshaun Prince subbed in for Durant. Detlef Schrempf's checked in for the 76ers. Kazanya comes in for Vince Carter. McKee dishes to Prince. Nets passing it around. And McKee kicks to Monroe. And now the fast break. Marion with the ball. Hammers it home to polish off the break.
Well, they weren't going to pass up that chance to get out and run following the steal.
They better not. I mean, they've got to pad their lead anytime an opportunity presents itself, and that was a golden one.
Left side, Jones. Out of bounds. Philadelphia takes possession.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
Ross is checked in for Brooklyn. Landon Rush is checked in for Philadelphia. The 76ers might have dodged having the worst record in the league last season, but they didn't dodge having the worst road record last year, Clark.
They could not dodge that one, Kevin. Just 6 wins on the road, but that was pretty much expected considering the youth and inexperience of this team.
And Philadelphia calls time here.
And for the 76ers, they weren't a good shooting team in general. And on the road, it got real ugly. They shot under 40% as a team on the year away from home.
Big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Pau Gasol is checked in for Monroe. Durant comes in for Terrence Ross. Nick Young's checked in for Jones. And it's John Wall in for McKee.
For the Sixers, just a brutal start to last season. 17 straight losses. They did get their first 4 wins of the season as a road team, though. As bad as they were on the road, at least they had that going for them. You know, the Nets really kind of drifted along for the first part of last season, treaded water, but after the All-Star break, they stepped on the gas, put themselves right back in the playoff picture.
As you mentioned, the Nets were great after the break, had the 3rd best record post-All-Star break in the East.
Yeah, and how about winning 13 of their first 22 after the break? And sometimes with a new coach and system, it takes a while to kind of figure things out, and that seemed to be the case with the Nets last year.
Now here's Thomas. 8 points for him. Pass to Azania. Schrempf kicks to Thomas. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. The 76ers didn't lie to themselves about last season, Greg. They knew they weren't going to be in the playoffs. They spent a lot of time last season developing their young players.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, the 3rd straight year the Sixers would miss the playoffs. But as you said, Kevin, they knew what the season had in store. The key was, could they keep those young guys focused on growth and experience and not get caught up in the fact that they struggled to win games.
It's deflected. Durant up top. This one for 3. That doesn't go either for Durant.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
And Thomas, here we go. And it's Bradley with the rebound. Bradley's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
And it's clear for the Sixers, the plan has been to continue to add good young players. Eventually, I think they'll be a force in the East. There's no guarantee, but they've got a plan and they're sticking to it.
No doubt that is within his range.
Well, I would hope so. He's a pro, and it was only a 1-footer. Come on now.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
A lot of teams that win a title often have a former #1 pick leading the way, or at least a top 3 NBA draft pick as their leader. So the 76ers are trying a shotgun approach to that, trying to get as many top 3 picks as they can, hoping one turns into the next superstar.
And the 76ers making a change here. Nene, he's checked in for Wallace. Marion comes in for Brandon Rush. Vince Carter, he's checked in for Azania. And Zach LaVine subbed in for Thomas. Philadelphia started to create a little bit of an identity last season. After all their transactions, Clark, and shifting around, they settled down and came together.
Yeah, and I tell you, it looks like the identity will be the Sixers being a defensive team going forward. Offense has its fits and starts, but defensively they found some traction.
Jones drives in, got a piece of it, and again, no good by Brooklyn.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
As you said, the 76ers will be a team built on defense going forward. At least that's what it seems like to me. They have very active hands and can bother a lot of shots. They also force a ton of turnovers as well.
The Nets making a switch here. Beasley's checked in. Marion with it. Guarded now by Durant. Throws it up high. And Sean Marion with the slam.
And the lead just grows on that ridiculous offensive sequence.
You know, Clark, that dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop.
Yeah, that just added more to it.
And you know, guys, right now, they're starting to flatline, just hanging on here for dear life.
And Wall kicks to Durant. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to... Welcome back as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Not exactly a nail-biter here, but you never know. And Philadelphia has possession. They lead by the biggest margin of the game, 15 points. And so in the game for the 76ers, Levine is out there with Carter. Then it's Schrempf. Then there's Marion. And it's Wallace in at the 5 spot. There's the dish to Schrempf. And it's good off the back of the rim and in. Schrempf's got the first points up on the board here in the fourth for Philadelphia. Beasley the screen. Ross on the wing. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Beasley with a screen on Carter. Jones kicks to Beasley. And good on the basket. Booking.
Oh, nice double pump finish there. Strictly for the fans.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Schrempf. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the 76ers.
Guys, the passing we've seen from them has been tremendous. Very unselfish.
Yeah, and the other thing also is tonight they've been able to get to the free throw line consistently and also convert big points from the charity stripe.
Nowitzki. And Wallace slams it in.
And putting in the work on the boards, and it's paying off with chances like that.
And Gia, he does put in the work. You're right. It's why he's on the finishing end of one putback slam after another.
Well, his effort has never been a question mark. He is an incredibly self-motivated player.
I tell you what, I'd settle for having as many points in this game as he has rebounds.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I mean, we're witnessing something special here today, Greg.
Here's Levine. Throws it up high. And Sean Marion with the slam.
Boy, the pass there floated up to the precise spot where it needed to be.
And no messing around in the finish, huh? He powers it through.
Sure didn't waste any time there.
And, guys, that's an alley-oop I guarantee you we'll be seeing on the highlight reels for the next few days.
And the Nets miss again.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession.
And you can tell that pass just hung in the air for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Long enough for him to get a hand on it and knock it out of play.
Tayshaun Prince is checked in for Terrence Ross. Bean passes to Carter. But they get it back. He kicks it to Levine. Beasley with the steal. In transition, here come the Nets. Wall with the ball.
And the defense scattered all over the place on the break. Nice job finding the wide open three.
Here's Levine.
Timeout call for Philadelphia.
And Philadelphia calls time here. And the second player taken in the 2008 draft, Michael Beasley out of Kansas State, has been the ultimate wild card. Incredibly high expectations for him. At one time, he was the best high school player in the country. But now, you know, Greg, in his 8th season, he's bounced around a little bit. You wonder if he will ever fulfill that great potential.
You know, you could argue he's the best player in college that 1 year at Kansas State. I mean, unstoppable scorer and rebounder on the collegiate level. And he's shown flashes, but that's the one thing about this level. So much of the game is mental. And not everybody's equipped to handle the responsibility of being a great player.
Excellent point. Here's what Brooklyn's going with right now. Durant's checked in for Prince. Terrence Ross comes in for Jones. And it's McKee in for John Wall.
If he can improve on what's...
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful jam.
Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how, Clark? Brilliant throwdown.
Just exerting his authority on that play. And he could be the guy to put this game out of reach.
Pass to Durant. And it's sent back by Wallace. Carter dishes to Wallace. Nowitzki kicks to Thomas. Back to Nowitzki. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas. Thomas got 5 assists tonight.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
And then Carter with the jam.
How about the quick hands on the steal and the quick feet on the break?
Yeah, a careless, silly mistake there, though. I mean, coughing the ball up and then not being quick enough to get back on defense, that's costly.
Now, here's Thomas following the shot by Kevin Durant. Durant against Nowitzki. And Thomas, here we go. Clock at 6. The offensive rebound. And he gets the buckets. 7 points for Wallace.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Durant wide open. He fires. Now Monroe kicks to Durant. Ross in the corner to stop the run. And he gets it to go.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
They double-team Nowitzki. Thomas passes to Nowitzki. And there's a whistle that goes against Greg Monroe. That's foul number 2 for him.
You know, for so long, the NBA has had 12-minute quarters. In last year's preseason, they began experimenting with the 10-minute quarters. Players seem to like it, but it would be a huge change philosophically in terms of how the game is played.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
And Clark, with the 10-minute quarters, the players felt like they were pressure during the game. Still, removing 8 minutes from an NBA game does have huge consequences.
Well, we must remember it's being experimented with right now, so keep that in mind. They also talked about shortening the preseason and doing other things to keep players fresher during the year. I like the thought process.
Here's Gasol following the score by Vince Carter. Outside, Jones launches a 3. Again, the miss by Jones. The 76ers leading by 22. Thomas against Wall. Nowitzki gets a wide open look. No good with the triple. It's Durant on the wing. Outside Gasol. Outside Wall. Gasol setting the pick for Wall. Dishes to Gasol. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Durant with it. And it's Wallace picking him up. From deep, Wall.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
Nowitzki outside. Beyond the arc. That's good.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest. Just a total obliteration, if you will. You can safely say mission accomplished now for the 76ers.
Agreed, Steve, and as one-sided as it gets today. You know, Clark, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
You're right, Kevin. It's hard to think of anything that didn't go right for them. I mean, game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was spot on.
And I think a great job in positioning themselves for the W here. It's win number 21 on the season.
In what should be an exciting 4-game season series between these two teams, they have to feel great about taking this first one tonight against the Nets.
Now Wall. Dirk Nowitzki missing from long range. Good-looking screen by Gasol. Wall with it. And they force the shot clock violation. Great team. Brooklyn making some changes. Bradley's checked in for Beasley. Ross comes in for Kevin Durant. And it's Mayo in for Jones. Now here's Thomas. He dishes it to Wallace. Thomas kicks to Wallace. The 76ers with another miss. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
Yeah, foolish play. He's got to be thinking out there.
Which he clearly wasn't on that play. Or maybe he was thinking just about something other than basketball.
Well, speaking of thinking, back home, guys, we call that a good old-fashioned brain freeze.
So it's the 76ers winning this one easily. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance.